Good morning and welcome to Adaptive Chicago Productions. This is Kenneth Borst. This show is brought to you by CAN TV, where we discuss a variety of disability topics. And before we get to the heart of the matter, I want to congratulate CAN TV on its 35th anniversary. That will be coming up in April. CAN TV was founded in April of 1983, and it's been 35 years worth of valuable service. This is a CAN TV. The CAN TV media outlet is different from every other media outlet in that it's the only one of its kind in the city of Chicago, and it's valuable because of the news and information that comes out that does not come on mainstream news. Now for the heart of the matter, for Adaptive Chicago Productions and CAN TV. I want to welcome my guest, Marilyn Green. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Kenny.
First of all, to start out with introductions for our viewers, we're discussing the issues accomplished by the National Federation of the Blind. First of all, please tell our viewers in your own words a history of the National Federation of the Blind.
The National Federation of the Blind started in 1940 with Jacobus Tenbrook, and we have grown over the years. We are celebrating this year our 78th anniversary.
78 years, that's great.
Yes, we have 52 affiliates throughout the country, all 50 states, including Washington, D.C. and Puerto Rico.
Certainly an awesome and impressive level of growth. I don't think any other organization can match it. Yes, and could you please tell us, how long have you been in the National Federation of the Blind?
I've been participating with the National Federation of the Blind of Illinois for about 3 years now.
Do you hold a political office currently?
No, I do not.
Have you ever?
No, I have not.
Okay. Now for the heart of the matter, I understand that the National Federation of the Blind does a Washington seminar each year, and that you participated in the Washington seminar this year. When did the Washington seminar take place?
That is correct. I did participate in the 2018 Washington seminar. It began on January 29th of this year, and it ran for about 4 days, I believe it was.
Yeah, that's what I was told, from January 29th through February 1st.
Yes.
I believe that's what Denise told me.
Yes.
So could you please tell me, how many legislators were you able to see?
I met 8 legislative aides for 6 congressmen and women, as well as our 2 state senators for Illinois.
That's fantastic.
I thought so.
So how do you feel about the meetings that you had with the congresspersons?
I thought they were very productive. The staffers seemed to be interested in our issues. They were familiar with our organization. We go to Capitol Hill every year with our Washington seminar to talk to our legislators about whatever legislative agenda items we have up for that year, and they can change from year to year.
Oh, they certainly do, because I've been with the NFB for quite a while, the National Federation of the Blind, and yes, it's a lot is going on, and you certainly, if you don't learn how to be a team player anywhere else, you learn it with the National Federation of the Blind, with all the different committees and affiliates and divisions. And yes, could you please kind of outline and summarize for us for our viewers, the legislative items that were discussed at the Washington seminar?
There were 4 items this year. There was the Marrakesh Treaty, which focused on, let me restart. All of our items this year focused with access to information. The first one that really spoke to me as someone who speaks a second language was the Marrakesh Treaty, which has to do with accessible formats of foreign language materials from outside countries being accessible to us with vision impairments. as well as there was the Accessible Technology Affordability Act, which has to do with with a tax credit for people who are vision impaired and blind to receive a tax credit for adaptive technology equipment, as well as there was the accessible instructional material for higher education. And this year was a little different. Not too often does the National Federation of the Blind oppose a bill, a House bill, but this year we opposed HR 620.
Great. Now, for our viewers, it's been kind of touched on before, but it may be a different set of viewers each week. So could you kind of tell us what HR 620 is?
HR 620 is referenced as the ADA, which stands for Americans with Disabilities Act, Education and Reform Act of 2017. It has to do with reasonable accommodations for all people with disabilities, not just those of us who are blind or vision impaired. It would require us as the disabled person to notify a business owner of how they are violating our rights as a person with a disability, which I find astounding because many times you have to cite the way it's written. We will have to cite as a disabled person what part of the ADA is being broken. That means acquiring an attorney, paying lawyers' fees in order to let a business know. And then after that, that business has, I believe it's 60 days to respond, and then another 120 days to make, I forget the exact language, but substantial progress or something like that. So as long as they've shown that they're making an effort, it can go on for another 180 days and another 180 days. And if it's a facility like a hospital where services are needed, this could be a major detriment to all people with disabilities.
Oh, it certainly could. And the fact of the matter is it's totally inexcusable, because this whole thing with having to get an attorney and pay attorney's fees, I mean, that's one of the things that the National Federation of the Blind has been about, is that you know, the unemployment rate is so high, and you know, you can't deal with paying attorney's fees when you know, people on Social Security, for example, are barely making it in terms of living expenditures.
Yes.
And I certainly understand that with, you know, living on Social Security and only working part-time, you know. So, I mean, there you go. But that's kind of the way it goes. And you know, what did they say? I believe the unemployment rate for blind people, last I heard, was what, 70%?
It fluctuates between 60 and 70%.
Yeah, because I know some say it's higher, some, you know, wish that we would quit saying that it was that high. But, you know, I keep telling people that it's, you know, 70%, and certainly, I mean, that's definitely, I mean, but.
And normally when I cite the statistic, I say 70% of blind people are unemployed or underemployed. Many times we have jobs, but we're not living up to our full potential.
That's right.
And that's what the National Federation of the Blind is about, for us to acquire our independence.
Oh, definitely, and certainly, but there was a legislative victory. I believe it was. Is that HR 2626? Do I have the right number there?
Yes, 2626. I apologize.
Yes, sure.
It's our Parent Bill of Rights.
What that means?
Yes, it's our Parent Bill of Rights in the state of Illinois that disallows any institution from removing a child from a parent's care solely because of their blindness.
Yes, and we've been struggling with that for so many years, and it's wonderful that we finally, you know, have that under our claws and taken care of, and certainly that's, but definitely, what I want to say is, I think we pretty much covered anything. Do you have any final thoughts?
In general, Nothing I can think of. I've covered all of the issues that we spoke about at the Washington seminar. This was my first time going to it. I thought that it was a wonderful opportunity. I recommend for any of our members of the National Federation of the Blind, such as yourself, Kenny, to participate, put in an application. They come out every year, and it's a great opportunity for, as you said earlier, for teamwork. You're working with a group of people from the state of Illinois. You're working with other people from the National Federation of the Blind throughout the country. We work together as a team to get the job done.
So would I be correct in interpreting that you plan on doing this again?
I would love to, yes.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Well, I'll give you what my final thoughts are. As I alluded to a little while ago, we were talking about the 70% unemployment and underemployment rate. I want to talk about, I certainly want to give you a lowdown about Braille. I want to express some feelings here about that because the public still is not aware. In my apartment building, we're currently going through renovations, and we have to move to other apartments while our apartment's being done and everything. And another friend of mine who is blind and lives in my apartment building spoke with the phone company. I won't mention the phone company's name, but she spoke with the phone company about the way her service would change, and because they were adding new services, and she wanted to know if she would still receive her telephone bill in Braille. Well, the CA with the phone company didn't know what Braille was. He was caught completely off guard. And, you know, I want to say that how this directly ties into the unemployment rate of blind people. Well, first of all, she was asked afterwards, after he said that, he said, well, would you give us an honest rating of our service? She said, oh, absolutely, I will give you at least a 2 thumbs down. And he said, well, why? She says, why? You mean to tell me that you are an adult man in America who doesn't know what Braille is? Everybody knows what Braille is, you know. And I really have to say that because with the 70% unemployment and underemployment rate, Dr. Mark Maurer, who was our immediate past president, has extensively researched this topic. And one of the things, and he has revealed this on innumerable occasions, that there is a 70% unemployment and underemployment rate. But of the 90% of the blind people who are employed, of the 30% of the blind roughly who are employed, 90% of those use Braille on their jobs. So ladies and gentlemen, I really want to tell you, I include that factor in there to urge each one of you, let's continue to fight the good fight. Anybody wanting to assist the National Federation of the Blind in our efforts, contact the website nfb.org. The snail mail address is 200 East Wells Street at Jernigan Place, Baltimore, Maryland 21230. The telephone number is area code 410-659-9314. Thank you for watching. This is Kenny Borst with Adaptive Chicago Productions, brought to you by CAN TV, signing off. Have a good day.
This is Will Cowing for Adaptive Chicago Productions. Our guest today is Rodney Cassell. Now, Rodney, you're involved with the Stepping Stones project, right?
Yes, I am.
Now, you taught me a new word. Now, we all know the word mentor, but I've never heard the word mentee. And what is a mentee?
A mentee is someone who's coming out of the nursing home, someone that I'm mentoring to come out the nursing home and deal with the community and experience life all over again. Stepping stone is like a child. When a child takes their first step, everything is a step of knowledge. And it's like a wake up. You know, you learn different things, or you learn things that you knew, but times have passed by. Well, you don't forget a lot of stuff.
All right, so you are a mentor, and then the people coming out of the nursing homes, the hospitals, are mentees. And
Right.
all right, and now, how long are some of these people in these institutions?
Some of them been in there about 2 or 3 years before they get with our SS Living or even getting into Stepping Stone. We go to different nursing homes. We have someone that goes to a nursing home. Valerie, she's in charge of that. She goes to different nursing homes, check out certain people, and see, you know, and train them, you know, to come out the nursing home, to know what life is all about into the community. You know, she's a good worker, and she help other people to come there, and they pre-mentors. That's like people who've been in a nursing home or is learning how to become a mentor fully.
All right, so you have mentors, pre-mentors, people you are training to be mentors,
Right.
and mentees, people who are in the nursing home right now. And how do you determine when somebody's ready to get out of a nursing home?
Well, you determine on their personality, their attitude, how they keep their hygienes up, how they talk to people, the respect, knowledge, you know, and things that they want to release on, you know, making a change in their life. You know, someone that's really able to step forward and do the right thing and try to help others that is in the nursing home and knowing the knowledge on what to do in order to bring them out.
What is the main problem when you're a mentor and you're someone is just ready to get out but not quite sure they want to know what to do?
Well, see, when you in a nursing home and you wants to get out, the first thing you have to do is respect everybody around you. For one thing, you have to respect the people in the nursing home. You have to respect no attitude, personality changes or nothing. You have to be kind of strong in mind and willing to work to come back out into the community. It's the same as if you're in the community, you know, how would you deal with the people that's out there? You know, so you're dealing with a lot of people that's in the nursing home, you know, with different areas, different places. Certain people got certain attitudes, personality changes. You know, you have to be able to deal with them people on that change. You know.
Well, everything is regimented for you in a nursing home. You eat at the same time. You have your medicine at the same time. Now, what problem does a person coming out and getting out of that regimen and still doing what he has to do?
Okay, when a person is in a nursing home, the first thing to do, they gets up early in the morning. They go to bed early at night. They eat when a person tells them to eat because the food, they have to wait for the food to get ready. And the people in the kitchen feed them anything they really want to feed. Like my mentee, he's allergic to fish. And whatever they putting in the food, because last time I seen him, his eye wasn't swollen that bad, but he told me he was allergic to fish. But last time I seen him, his eyes was big. So they're not, you know, they're not providing the right type of food for people, for their nourishing, you know. Some places don't even have a place where you can exercise, you know. They have disability. They don't have time, don't go out and see what's in the world today. They caged up, you know. And that's why a lot of people say, I'd rather die than go to a nursing home. Because due to the fact, the way they treat you, you got the CNAs, sometimes don't care about you. Some of them want to be on the phone 24 hours a day.
A CNA is Certified Nursing Assistant,
Assistant, right.
and they don't care.
Some of them don't.
Yeah.
You know, you have to get up in the morning, really when you want to sleep, but they got to make up your bed and stuff. See, the thing is, Well, I'm trying to pull you out of being lazy. You know, that's what my job is. I want to pull you out for being lazy. I want you to respect your disability. I want you to know what your disability is about. You know, you're not always disabled. A disability is not a disabled situation because you got arms and legs. Some don't have arms and legs, but you got a mind, you know, and that's what you use, you know, how to carry yourself in a situation. If you come out to the community, you have to be able to deal with the community, knowing what's around you and how to deal with things around you.
So people coming out of nursing homes, where do they go right away? What's the first step?
Well, when you're coming out the nursing home, we are to show you, we show you your, we help you find apartments. If they have an apartment for you or a place for you to live, you go and you pick out your furniture. Once you pick out your furniture, they set it up where they have a voucher where you get your own food. But that's only for about what, a year? No, 1 month.
1 month's worth of food.
Right. No rent paid for 1 month. But the next following month, you got to pay your rent. Now, that is for you to get established in your life and set up in your place. Now, some people will go and get food that they not necessarily need, that will go so fast, and then they hollering, what's up, and then they want to use their money. But see, the thing is, we have to show you how to budget your money too. That's an SS living. Show you how to budget your money, how to put your money in a bank, you know, how to, you know, get your life together. You know, how to be careful with how you spend your money, how to save your money, and what to do with your money, you know.
Now, what about hygiene? You mentioned that some people...
Oh, hygienes. I'm sorry to interrupt. Hygienes. Some people that's in the nursing home smell so bad.
Oh, wow.
Seriously, smell so bad that it's like, man, I don't know where I'm at or what I come into. You got an elevator that you get on, and you this person there, you don't know who it is because you got about 5 or 6 different people there, and the odor is bad. So what I do, I talk to them about keeping up their hygienes. Washing your face, taking your shower, brushing your teeth. You nobody want to talk to nobody who's blowing their breath in your face.
Wow,
you know.
wow.
And that's totally disrespectful.
We got to continue this later on. We're running out of time.
Okay.
But this is very interesting. We got to go on more and find out more about how you make the transition out of the nursing home. There's so much more to it than people realize.
Right, it's a lot to it.
Oh.
And thing is, you know, we try.
All right, well, I
We
want to
try.
thank you again, Rodney. You're doing a great job.
Right.
And good to have you on
All
the
right.
crew, too.
Thank you.